the flow. I go with the flow. I'm falling up, I'm falling down, from the sky and from the ground. I burn bright just like
Good morning there. All right. Let's see if we can maybe harvest the leeks today and maybe do some other stuff. Other stuff in the garden. Might need this guy. And then the leeks, I saw like it would be good to store them in like sand. Like we get some buckets with sand, but this is like to put on the ice in the winter, so we're gonna leave this. We'll probably take like some sort of bucket and then put some sand in it or something to store them. Some sort of container. I guess a bucket like that would work. If this is solid enough. Put some sand in the bottom and then put the leeks in there, I guess. Yeah. We're gonna dig some sand, put it in here first. It doesn't need to, or we can go dig up the leeks first. I don't think there's gonna be too many of them. And then we'll come after the bucket and put some sand in it, depending on how much stuff we get. There's not gonna be that many, I think. Mushrooms on the lawn even. Where did they get their moisture to grow? Yeah, the dill we can chop down with this guy because that's kind of old. Parsley we can leave. Beans I've been slowly kind of harvesting. But then these guys, the onions, we could dig up now, I think. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's maybe 15 of them. I'll try to dig them up first. See how they look. Pitchfork probably best weapon today. Oh, we need something to cut them probably. I can cut them with those. Should I cut them off before we dig them up? Well, we'll try a few here. See how big they are. This seems to be a pretty chunky one right here. Break off the roots. A lot of roots here. There's even 2 here. A small one and a big one. I think we can just break off all the roots if we can. Need something to cut this too, I think. And I think you're supposed to like this is the part you could eat. You can kind of eat these, I think, too. But I think like this, we're gonna cut them off somewhere here and store like this bit. I don't know if you should leave, probably don't want to leave the roots on. Or maybe you could leave the roots on if I put it in sand. I have never harvested like leeks, so we're kind of just trying some things out here. But at least the upper part we can cut it off somewhere here. Maybe put that part in the sand or gravel, like you can eat. Yeah, if you cut it off, like cut the leaves off, and then maybe put the rest. It can't hurt to put the rest in there, I think. So if we'll chop them off like here somewhere. Good smell, and then kind of store this bit. And this bit will be mulched down here. But yeah, I think we can go after the bucket. Like one bucket with some sand should be enough for this. There's not gonna be too many. And just put them in there with the roots and everything. Or maybe I need to check, like, is it better to store them with the roots like this, or is it better to cut off the roots too? Google probably knows. But yeah, a bucket with some sand I think was a good way to store them, so we can go after that. Then just put them in there. The watering hose. After we take these up, what's growing in the garden? Tomatoes. There's a little bit of corn left. And pretty much nothing else. So maybe we can put a sprayer on, because it's super dry in the garden. After we have weeded and stuff, then we can put the sprayer on to give the tomatoes a little water. But other than that, there's really not much growing anymore. Hopefully this bucket, like we're not gonna put a lot of sand, because it's like, it's not really meant for super heavy stuff. I don't think we really have anything better. That metal bucket would be better, but we need it for another thing. So we're probably just gonna take this one. Just take some gravel. Don't need much. I think you could store them just like that, like take them out and put them in the basement or in the cellar there. But I somewhere read that if you store them in sand, maybe it like keeps them dry and keeps them better somehow. I'll take a little bit from this pile. I didn't think, why is there like, oh, that was like a mushroom. There's mushrooms. What the hell was that? There's one mushroom in this. Just some clean sand, I think. That's probably enough. And then dig them in there, put them in that sand. Should probably be fine. Man, this weather it's still surprising. Every day feels like June or July. And it's like soon mid-September. well, for sure it's not. Can't complain that it's cold. I'll just put them here, maybe dig them in a little bit in the sand, or put sand on top of them at the last thing. Probably dig them up all first now, and then just put them here, and then maybe some additional sand. We'll see. We'll see how many we get. I'll just cut them off first. Chop them off. Remember to dig up all the ones we chopped off. Get the dirt off at least. Pretty massive root system these have too. You can see all the white roots, how much dirt is staying on the thing. Like this is just a little bit left, like all the small ones broke off already there in there. Massive root system. And the massive beans are everywhere also. Corn, there's not much left in the corn either. There's like one cob, 2, 3, maybe 3 okay-ish cobs. Then when all that is harvested, then we can cut those down too. And the beans, I've just been harvesting like this, and then you can just eat the beans. It's turning kind of light green also now, so I think it's starting to fade away. This looks almost like a palm tree or something. The upper part, there's a couple of really small ones. Don't know if there's anything to harvest even there. But yeah, today we'll just do kind of a casual stream here. Chill Sunday stream. And then tomorrow we might be up to something special. But yeah, this is probably one of the last garden streams now, because after this there's like some harvest of tomatoes, couple more corn plants, some beans, and then the rest will just get mulched down then, and then we'll plow it later in the fall when everything is harvested. But yeah, not much left of the garden season for sure. Hello there, Serenity. Yeah, very chill Sunday stream here today. Just getting the leeks out from the ground, and then we'll chop down the dill. It's kind of old, and maybe some of the corn that we have taken all the cobs from. A little bit of weeding maybe. Suspicious beans. Yeah, I can show you the suspicious beans. We can eat some. This one is probably a good one. Well, it's really big. It's like basically formed like a hedgerow. Looks quite normal still now. Pretty big, but then when you open up, that's when it looks very, very interesting. And there's like kind of a half formed. Maybe these ones weren't like ripe. See if I can open it up. Oh, there's a nice bean there. So the beans have a pretty interesting color. Pink with some purple in there. Very interesting. If I would have the bag of seed left that I put in the spring here, then I could probably tell you what kind of beans it is. But I don't have the bags left. And then there's another big one there. Yeah, very, very interesting color. Otherwise they look like big beans, like pretty normal, but the color is not what you would expect. But yeah, there's a bunch of them in here still. They're just hiding inside the bush. Like here's a massive one here. Like it's like 40 centimeters tall or long. But they usually still have just 4 of these in one pod, or maybe 4 or 5. Yeah, leeks. Harvesting them leeks, and we're gonna put them in some sand here or something. I read that that's how you should harvest the leeks. I guess they store better that way, or don't go bad. I could cut the roots off here, but I think you can leave them like this too, and then cut the roots off when you use them for something. A few left there. But yeah, still the dirt is really quite dry, so we might. I'm gonna put the irrigator on last when we have done everything here, so you can still give some water to especially the tomatoes that are still like green. I'm not sure if they will have time to get red, but we'll try. I mean, as long as the weather continues like this, it's fine. Then we have time. Then we have, or the tomatoes have time. I'm sure these tops, you could probably eat the leaves too or something. Shake it off, shake it off. I guess this is easy now when the dirt is dry. If it would be super muddy, then it would be not nice to harvest these, I think. Same as with the potatoes and stuff. It's almost, the ground is almost too hard to do this. I'll have to use the pitchfork kind of carefully to not break the handle off. Even if it's like a metal handle. These are kind of small. Anything smaller than these I will probably not even try to harvest. That's an okay one. There's maybe a couple more decent ones. The really small ones we can just leave. But yeah, tomorrow I think it's gonna be nature trail time again. It won't be a bike ride, but it will be a nature trail. Nature trail time. It's like a nature trail. I wanted to visit it for a long time, but have never visited it so far. And that should be coming up tomorrow, unless it somehow starts to rain, which I'm really thinking it's not going to. So it should be, and again, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's gonna be almost mid-September. It's gonna be full t-shirt weather, and it's almost gonna be so warm that we'll have to take it pretty easy there. Go slow because it's too warm in September. Crazy. Okay, now we got them all here. I think I'm gonna, yeah, maybe it's best to put them inside, get the sand to the side, and then try to put them like in the sand there. Not the upper part, but the lower part. Somehow get them dug in a little bit. Or maybe get more sand in here. Yeah, maybe it's easiest to just keep them upright like this and then get some more sand. I don't know really if you need to cover them. Of course, I'm not going to cover them completely with sand. What is the sand for? It's supposed to keep them better. Like you know as much as I know here, because this is the first time I'm kind of harvesting leeks. I think if you put like sand on the roots, it's supposed to like, or they're supposed to like stay good for a longer time. Kind of hard to keep them upright. I mean, you don't want to, still gotta wash them before I use them, so it doesn't really matter if you get sand everywhere, but what would be the best way would maybe put one, dig a hole, put one in the sand, dig a hole, put another in the sand. I guess we kind of have to do that still. They're kind of messy in there now, so. Or put more sand in there. I guess we'll take them out. It wasn't too many. Then kind of dig a hole and then put them in the sand. It wasn't the best plan to put them directly in there, I think. Just have them here. Like the onions, I just put in a box and put them in the root cellar. But for the onions here, or for the leeks here, I read like online that you should maybe put them in sand when you store them. So maybe if I did like this and then start piling in them like upright like that, and then we push the sand against them at the end, maybe that'll work better. So yeah, this is completely a trial here. If someone has grown leeks, then they can chime in if this is a good or bad idea. But I mean, it shouldn't, like, it's the other option would be I would just put them like this and then put them in the root cellar. I'm sure it's not gonna be bad if I put the roots like this in sand. It shouldn't really change much. Maybe it will keep them like drier, or keep them from like starting to rot or something. I'll put the rest here on the other side. How will you use it? Maybe soup, maybe, yeah, whatever you can use a leek for. The onions I really like to just cut them, like keep them basically raw, and then just cut them into slices, and then you can put that on. Even putting that on bread is like good. But then yeah, you can also put onions. You can cut onion rings. Yeah, I could make like onion rings, like you can get those at like McDonald's or something. So could try to make onion rings myself. But yeah, just chopping. If you fry some kind of meat, then you could chop onions up and put it in there, like really simple, really good. But yeah, for leeks, I don't know. I have to look up some recipe where you need leeks. But yeah, now they're in the sand there. Now we can put them in the root cellar, I think. But yeah, even these I could clean them then and just cut them into small pieces and put on bread. That's like a really simple way, like the simplest way of using them. But yeah, could do a lot. Could do many things. But yeah, we'll put this before they heat up now when it's so hot. We'll put these in a cool place now. Put them in the root cellar. These guys in here. More stuff to the basement or root cellar. We can just put somewhere here. But yeah, now there's pretty much everything here. All the harvest is here. Except then I've harvested like corn and eaten that directly. But yeah, all the potatoes, all that kind of stuff is in here. Stored, and yeah, it's already, I see some potatoes have gone already. Yeah, it's amazing that the connection works in here of all places. It's not good bit rate, but it's working in here. It's really amazing when I consider some other places where it does not work. Yeah, potatoes, carrots, leeks, onions. That's what we got in here. But everything that goes in here is pretty much harvested now. So that's good. that part is done. And if we can close the door, then it's even better. Get some usage of the old root cellar. Back in the day, like you saw, that was a pretty big space. Back in the day, they used to have a lot more stuff in there. When they basically grew all their potatoes and all the veggies for themselves at the farm here. That's why that space is kind of big. And it's been, most years it's like almost empty. But this year we got at least a little bit of stuff in there. But yeah, you could fit a lot in there. Like a lot. Okay, next we could probably rip out some weeds. It's not really super necessary anymore, like here. This will be plowed in the fall, it will turn the dirt and everything. All the leftover organic matter will be turned inside the soil. But yeah, you can take some thistles out from there and just see what's going on. So yeah, tomatoes are growing, but they're still completely green. Some like these are starting to turn color. But yeah, also first year I'm growing like normal tomatoes, so we'll see if there is enough time for these to ripen up. Otherwise we might have to eat some green tomatoes. I mean, the weather looks good at least for like 2 weeks forward. Like warm enough, like I guess these will keep growing as long as it doesn't go to -degrees. So that seems like a far away thing, at least now. But I mean, September, yeah, it doesn't really go to -degrees in September usually. But in October it can definitely go to -degrees. So maybe these guys have enough time. There's some thistles. There's more tomatoes down there. The other weeds aren't that important, but the thistles, every chance I get to whack the thistles, then it's a good time to get them reduced a little bit. The dandelions, that's not really a problem. They will die when you turn around the soil. And then we got some mini tomatoes. I don't know what happened with these mini tomatoes. They produced like a lot of small ones, and now there's a bunch of these green ones on here. They usually produce like these guys. So like, I call them mini tomatoes. It's like these really small tomatoes. They're really like sweet also. Yeah, these are good. I had these previous years, but that's not like, it's like mini tomatoes, as you saw, really small. And here we got the normal tomatoes. Oh, thank you for the 100 bits there, Serenity. Thank you very much. But yeah, there's some thistles there we can cut off and see how the strawberries are doing. Strawberry season is over. Like, it was over for a long time ago, but we can see how the plants are getting ready for next season. Some of them look a lot better, than there's a few that don't look that good. But yeah, now this is pretty clean. Like if someone watched in the spring, then this area here, it was all full of this weed. It's called twitch. Ironically, this weed is called twitch. But yeah, now we've gotten rid of it pretty well here. This whole area was full of it. Now there's a little bit there and a little bit there, but it's pretty clean now. So yeah, once you rip out the roots a few times, then you get it killed or removed. Here's a little patch. Little patch that's still kinda alive. Yeah, strawberries. These are looking nice here. But there's a few plants that were, for some reason, a little weaker. But these guys down there look good. We can maybe, if there's some weeds, pull out the weeds there. But it's pretty clean. The plastic really helps keep it pretty clean from weeds. I see a strawberry there. What the hell? I think the strawberries might be confused with this weather too. Like they produced a couple of months ago, they produced like the main crop, but then after that I've always seen like there's maybe a strawberry and there's one over there now too. In September, what the hell? There should not be any strawberries in September. I think the plants are confused also. Confused with the weather. Yeah, we can look. There's not like, most of them are empty. But then this guy right here. What the hell? What's this? Strawberry. In September. What? What is going on? I think I see another one over there. What's up with this? September strawberries. Tastes fine. Gotta check if we find more. But yeah, I see some weeds. We can pull the weeds out too. Here's a few plants that haven't grown that well. But then there they look good again. And they look pretty good down there. And then over there, I see a couple of those are alive. I had a few like empty spots there, and I tried like when a plant grows, it grows out these things to the side. You can see these massive things to the side. If you cut this off, and then you plant this part in the ground here, like you can see there's roots coming out there. If you put this in solid ground now, you could maybe do that before you cut it off and then let it grow a little bit. Then you have like a new strawberry plant right here. And then over here at the end, here's another one. That way you can get more plants from the ones you have actually. It's kind of a lot of work. You need to cut them off and then grow them and then. But I just ripped a few off like this and put them in the ground. It seems like at least a few of them are still alive. So yeah. This is one way that the strawberry like naturally spreads. It actually grows like a thing to the side, and then it grows just randomly roots down like that, and then there's a new plant. And then also, of course, the strawberry has like seeds in the actual strawberry too. So that's another way that it spreads, but it spreads kind of two ways. So it's a pretty effective one. If I just leave them, you can see here, it's grown all the way to here. If I would leave this here, then next year there would be probably a new plant right here. But yeah, I already cut these off once because I don't really want these to spread, but I mean, new strawberry plants. It's a little bit of an interesting way that the strawberry spreads. I think down here, what's this? There's many strawberries here, many big ones. What? 1, 2, a big one, 3. Look at this guy, like that's a big guy. Couple more. Yummy, yummy. Then there's a couple that are like too ripe, I can't even eat them anymore. But yeah, then the rest of the plants have nothing. So it's confused. I think the plants are confused and I'm confused. These are already almost too soft to eat. I haven't been checking this out in a little bit, so there could be some that have grown in the meantime there. Yeah, definitely the first time I'm eating fresh strawberries in September. That's for sure. But yeah, then few weeds here and there. Here you can see the massive. Like look at this plant. It's got these massive growths to the side. Massive strawberry growths. Get the weeds out. Yeah, so here I planted this guy, and this guy, and maybe that guy. I did plant them from those things that grow to the side. They seem to be alive. That one's maybe dead. That one's alive there. Like it has like one leaf. This was also a trial here. I just wanted to try if I can grow more strawberries from the ones we already have. Then I really don't need to buy new ones. I could just keep cutting off those that grow to the side and use them as new strawberries. I gotta try that maybe even more next year. Yeah, it's getting warm. Man, oh man. We're just very slowly gonna go through these, take the weeds out. There's not much, but there's some weeds. Just clean it up a little bit. thank God for the wind. So here, if this plant died here, then if I could get this, I'm gonna try to put this like in the ground here. Then I can get a new one from this. Let's put that in the ground there. Another trial run here. Put the end of this so it has even better chance of putting the roots in the ground there. Some dirt on it. We'll see if that one can grow up, and then I'll cut it off here. Natural way of getting more strawberries. It's not like if I buy strawberry plants, they're about like €1 a piece. But that way, I mean, I could get a bunch from these. A little bit of work, but then you'd have even more strawberries. Definitely think I want to have more than this next year. I have some here and then some in the other place. But there is room for more. There's like a green strawberry. Here's one that has died, I think. We can try to steer this one. Maybe it will grow there now. Then the other row, there's maybe some weeds there. I think I'm gonna take a break. It's getting warm. Which is crazy this time of the year. Normal this time of the year would probably be like you almost would need like a long sleeved shirt outside. Maybe it would be like 15 degrees, 17 degrees. It's like 10 degrees warmer than that almost. But it's kind of nice. As long as you don't work too hard, then it's nice. Kind of nice weather. Sunny, dry, it's not muddy, which is good. A lot of the time when you dig up potatoes or dig up the leeks and stuff, it can be like the soil can be kind of muddy. And then it's not that fun. Now it's super dry, so it was really easy to dig things up. I don't know if you saw I posted in Discord, I had this water bottle, then I had another one that put them in the dishwasher. This one is dishwasher proof, but the other one was not. So after the dishwasher, this one is like this size. The other one shrunk like to half of its size. Oh man. I need to buy a new water bottle now. The other one definitely wasn't dishwasher proof. This one is fine, but the other one apparently was not fine. Luckily they are like maybe €10, so it's not a big loss. Yeah, it did the same thing. Usually that happens sort of only for clothes. But it could also happen to the plastic bottle, it seems. It's the first time it's happened. Like I put a lot of plastic things in the dishwasher and usually it's fine. But it was not fine for that one. Rip bottle. Rest in a shrunken piece. Yeah, and that pick we can take. It doesn't need to be here. Here we had the potatoes, but they're all dug up, so that one isn't needed here. This one pretty much isn't needed after today. Same with the other tools. Thistles. Thistles, thistles, thistles. Little corner there, then we'll just see if there's some smaller ones in there. Then this is good. That's pretty much good. Here's a big bunch of that stuff. Probably won't be able to get it completely off, but let's cut it down at least as much as possible. At least the stuff that's growing close to the strawberries. Hello there, mon ami. I think this is the last weeding of the season. After this, I don't think the weeds really are going to grow that much more anymore. Plants should be good, ready for the winter. Just some bastards in here. Pretty good here. Here, these strawberries grew pretty nice down here, and those over there. Then there's a few weaker ones there, and then that's okay again. I think I had a few different. There was a few different varieties here, so they grew a little bit differently also. Yeah, leaves are starting to turn yellow in the birches, and it's 25 degrees. My head can't compute it. There's something feels off. Alrighty. I think we're pretty good. Strawberries are good now. Good for winter. Yep, and before we forget it, let's take the tools that are not needed here anymore. I could weed this outside a little bit. There's always more you can weed. At least get the bad weed. So, and here's a tool. I think we put the potatoes in with this tool. Got a bunch of tools here. A bunch of tools. Yeah, I'm not gonna take the sprayer away yet. Once we're done here now, I can put the sprayer on there, give some water to the tomatoes, the corn that's left, and then, yeah, the parsley over there, that's fine. Beans, well, if we have it on here, it will fly all the way to the beans, but the beans are kind of fading too, so I think they're not gonna grow too much more. But the tomatoes definitely could use some water, probably. Probably. But first we're gonna take everything that we don't want wet away. These tools probably not needed. The cutter, this one we need for one thing. One more thing I wanted to do now. Let's get the dirt away so we don't cut or make it extra dull. The deal, as you can see, this is like turning brown. This is not good to eat anymore. So we can kind of chop this down. Chop it down. Mulch it down. Then it's easier to plow in the ground if we just chop that down. Parsley is still okay to use. It kind of grows like almost like grass. Still good to harvest. But the deal, we can just chop. This always grows too much or more than you can use, so there's always a bunch left in the fall. I guess you can, these tops, you can kind of eat this. This tastes way different than the rest of the plant. It's almost like, tastes kind of salty taste. Could be good on some things, but even these are turning like brown like this. I guess you could try to harvest the seeds from here somehow, and then you would have seeds for next year. But it's easier just to buy a small bag of seeds. They're very cheap to buy. Very, very cheap little bag of seeds. You could take this all to a compost and then bring the dirt back from there, but yeah, let's just chop it down. Then in the fall, when everything is harvested, then we'll plow this, which means like turning the soil. Then all this will end inside the soil, and then it will decompose in there. Gotta give some food to the worms and other small organisms we have in the soil. They need food also. Food for the worms. Something like that. Get it chopped down, mulched down. We still got these small flies here. Usually in September you don't have many flies left. Yeah, chop this down. Then after that, I think the garden is pretty much good again. Can put the sprayer on, irrigation on. There's a big one right there, almost like a bush. Still in the beans, there's still some flowers, but it's fading definitely a little bit. But inside there's plenty of beans to eat. something like that, chop it down. It's easier to plow in the dirt when it's like that, not like this. We're gonna try. No promises. We're gonna try our best. A little bit more, then it should be good. And then yeah, parsley we can leave. This is the parsley, basically, even when it's like -degrees, you can almost eat it still. Pretty much like a grassy thing. And this, especially this variety this year, it's like massive growth. It's like pretty tall and it's like all bushy. I planted 3 rows here, but you can't really see. It seems like just a patch, parsley patch at this point. Yeah, that's for sure. The parsley, it's one of the easiest things to grow. Just plant it and give it some water. It will grow. It doesn't need good soil. It doesn't really need, take some weeds out and it's very easy to grow. And it's good, you can put it on a lot of it's almost like salt and pepper. You can put it on all kinds of meat dishes and probably other stuff too. This also can cut also. Okay. I can walk on this a little bit. This seems good now. It's kind of flattened down. Oh, parsley is down. Or dill is down, I should say. Now the parsley will get even more sun. And the same with the beans maybe. But the beans are definitely pretty ripe, I would say, at this point. Ready to eat. Okay, we can get this up a little. Now we can just take a bunch of tools away from here since we don't need much here anymore. Maybe I need this guy later, but I can take it back here. Once everything has like completely stopped growing. The corn, for example, probably best to chop down before we plow it into, but there's still some cobs there. Yeah, let's take, but a bunch of these tools we can already put in storage. Whew. It is unbelievably warm. Without the wind here, I almost like couldn't do this without the wind today. Crazy, crazy. Need to do thing with like slow motion, half the speed. Like these tools, for sure we don't need these. And not these either. Then maybe some of the other stuff too. These strawberries up here should be fine. I could run the lawnmower in between, but these are pretty good. These are older strawberries, so here I definitely don't see any strawberries. It's just the leaves. Some leaves have turned yet red. Those should be kind of fine. Maybe some weeds there, but not too bad. Have room for all the tools here. This one should just probably be somewhere. That one goes there, this one goes. Put it somewhere. Some parts of the lawn could use a cut, but it's too hot today. Anyway, there's supposed to be 2 more days of 24, and then maybe we can go down to 20 degrees. That would already be a lot more pleasant to do some stuff, some mowing or whatever else we need to do. This guy, and we got this guy also. This one not really needed either. Then it should be pretty much all the tools except the sprayer there. But then that one we're gonna put that on once we're hauled all the stuff out. We can put that sprayer guy on. Hello there, Sticky. Yeah, we're just doing a little fall cleanup here. Oh, that big bucket we could also take out. It's just, I used it to pick the berries there, but that one is also not needed anymore. Where do we put this guy so it's not super much in the way? Too much stuff, not enough storage. Let's put this one, had a mark. I can put this here. I'm gonna have to chill here inside a while. It's a little cooler inside here. We're in Finland, southern Finland. It is. I don't know what I have on the stream there. There's like a thing that says how warm it is, but it definitely feels like 25 degrees Celsius. Which is, what's that in Fahrenheit? I could try. I should have in the chat there should be like this thing where you can convert things. Let's see if that still works. I don't remember. Was it maybe like this? Yeah. Well, let's see if this thing works. Convert number. Oh yeah, in Celsius. So it should work both ways. That anybody can use that. It should be exclamation point convert 25 C. No, there should be a space in still between that. We're gonna get it. I haven't used this feature in a while. I have it in the chat, but I haven't really used it too much. Oh, now there it is. So yeah, anytime we get temperatures, that works both ways. So you can put exclamation point convert whatever Fahrenheit, then it will convert to Celsius too. Should work both ways, and it's also for miles, kilometers, and apparently for ounces, milliliters, something like that too. But yeah, 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. It is, for this time of the year here, it's warm. It's definitely warm. Definitely warm. It's chill here. We could go upstairs here, see what's there. I don't know if I've showed too much what's upstairs here. Maybe the connection works better there also. But yeah, this is an old cow barn. But for a long time now, it's just been like storage of various things like firewood, some tin that was left over from some project, some bikes, like a car garage, out of it. Storage. You can still tell from these, that's where the cows were, like 1, 2, 3, 4, where there's like a cow would be standing here, then it could eat. Behind there was like the food table, where you put the hay and grain and food for the cows. But yeah, let's see if we can go upstairs. Upstairs in the old hay storage, here you can see there was the food place. Hay was usually here, and then you put the grain and stuff over there. Back in the day when it was still a cow barn. Let's see if we can't climb up here. Got my backpack on, so it's a little more sketchy than usual. But yeah, this used to be again hay storage up here. Now this is, yeah, wood. We got a bunch of wood here. Bunch of building materials. We got even more in the one barn on the field, but there's some here also. Some boards, some, what do we have here? 2 by 5s maybe. Then some 22 mil by 125 probably right there. This is like, it's probably like some 32 mil times 100 or 125. Yeah, now you can see the other side of the OnlyFans building. There's the big fan there. Grain dryer. Some random wood pieces, some random tin, random pipes. All kinds of random stuff here. Do I actually use firewood to warm the house? Yeah, the farmhouse, or the house that is here at the farm, it is heated with only firewood in the winter. Right now we use, or the only thing, like right now we don't burn any firewood. We use like it's the shower water and stuff like that. It's heated electrically right now. But yeah, when it gets colder, then we'll switch over completely to firewood. Cheaper. It would be really expensive to use only electric heating in the winter. It would work, but we got plenty of wood in the forest, so. And this is not firewood, this is building wood right here. Like you got your 2x4s and boards and stuff like that. That's building wood. But yeah. This winter we need to actually go to the forest and cut down some trees because we need more firewood. We have plenty of firewood that's split up and ready to go, but yeah, with firewood you always need to think like a couple seasons ahead. Go cut down some in the woods before you run out. But here you can see that's all firewood right there. . Pallets full of firewood. how many, from here I can actually see how many pallets that fit in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's 10. That should be easy to remember. So there's 10 pallets right here. Then we got some more there. I think we have, yeah, 15 to 17 pallets of good dry firewood already. For how many winters? Well, if we got 15 pallets, that's pretty much for 1 year. But yeah, now we recently switched over, so in the summer we don't burn any, so we're going to burn probably a few pallets less. So yeah, I would say about 15 pallets might be enough for 1 year. So all this is not enough for 1 year. Kind of close to 1 year, but we need a little bit more than this. But it's not too much. Like in the grand scheme of things, if you burn like 15 to 20 cubic meters of wood per year, that's not that much actually. It's pretty normal for like a house, unless the house is like really small. Then of course you can use less. And yeah, for the cubic meters, I should have a converter, because I know, again, in the United States you don't use cubic meters. I think you use like cords or something. And I have no idea how many cords this is. But yeah, we have 10 there, then there's 3, 6. Yeah, we have 18 pallets. 18 pallets are full now. That's more than enough for 1 year. We can go outside. It should usually work better, the connection here. Inside there it's always a little sketchy. But yeah, these are easy to move around. You just take the forks with the tractor and then you can lift the pallets. But this is dry firewood. We had it outside and then we put it inside now when it's dry, before it starts to rain. You can hear it's kind of crispy when you move it around. If there's 2 good pieces, I could try to, when you hit 2 pieces, beat them against each other, and you can kind of hear if it's dry. Let's try find some too. Yeah, maybe these. Sounds pretty dry. It should be dry. It's been a good summer to dry firewood, if nothing else this summer. Crops didn't grow, but I guess the firewood is dry. Hello there, Jack. But yeah, here you can see the next, like the pile of firewood for next spring, when we usually like cut and split the wood. There's just a little bit now there. We need more, so we need to go to the forest here at some point during the winter and cut down some more wood. This is just the wood that's here in the firewood pile now. This is just it was a couple of trees that were dying in the garden, so we had to cut them down. It's like it was a big birch, and then there should be a spruce somewhere in there too, but mostly a birch. It was a big birch, so it ended up like that's almost like one tree. Then there's a couple. This is something older. But yeah, that's maybe somewhere between. Yeah, it's probably pretty close to 2 cubic meters of firewood right there. But if we need 20 in a season, then we need about 10 times that. But yeah, it shouldn't be too big of a job. But you will see if you follow the channel, then at some point when the temperatures go down from what it is now, then we can go to the forest with the chainsaw and cut down some trees. I have a few areas that need like thinning, so we're gonna go cut down some trees from there. It's gonna be mostly like, or a little bit smaller, mostly thinning wood. Yep, it's definitely a good workout if you're running around in the forest with the chainsaw a day. That's a good workout. Very, very good workout. Yeah, we can just check the field here. How the green manure is growing. It's so dry that this hasn't even... It's grown some now. A lot of clover here. I believe this is probably fescue. There should be clover here, fescue, then some timothy. I don't see much, a bunch of that, but it's like red clover now, which is good. Some alfalfa in there too. But yeah, not many weeds. Usually we cut this, like if you grow green manure, we cut it like 3 times in the summer. But this year I think we just cut it twice, and now we'll just let this grow for the rest of the season, and then next spring we'll plow it, and then this field will probably be oats or wheat, I think, next year. I don't remember the plan exactly, but I think this is gonna be, yeah, either oats or wheat next year. Have to check our plans. And go put the irrigation on now, and then I'm gonna go take a little stroll there to the actual forest, see what's going on there. Didn't have too much to do today. It's kind of Sunday, so pretty chill stream today. See if the irrigation thing is working. We're not plugged up anywhere. This is also, it's probably one of the latest times in the year when I'm still used to irrigation. I think the tomatoes and stuff, it can maybe still benefit a little bit from some extra water. I mean, it's again no surprise that it has pretty much not rained anything this month. Just continues the theme of the year. Oh yeah, we need to move that guy a little bit. Wind is coming from there, I think. Maybe move it that way a little bit. Yeah, definitely move it that way a little bit. I try to go so we don't get wet. Just slide it over a little bit. See if that's better. To grow on mostly on the tomatoes. The rest there is kinda not growing anymore, I think. But the tomatoes could use a drink. these strawberries, I could maybe water this later today, but we'll see. At least we can leave the spray around for that. Maybe even more this way. It's always have to take the wind into consideration. It would be the best to irrigate when it's not windy, but I think it's okay now too. I think that's pretty good there. I'll just take my water bottle. I'm gonna go check out some trees. Not really the older forest, but we can go check some younger areas. If we can figure out when the sprayer is gonna spray and where it's gonna spray. There's the wind picking up, then we could maybe still move it a tad. Can still move it a little bit. Even more this way. Now it should be enough. We'll try to not get wet with the camera and everything. See how it looks from this side. Yeah, it's good. It's pretty much covering the stuff here, the parsley and stuff. It doesn't really need water. It's still looking good. Then, yeah. Of course, the weather forecast is saying that next week we'll get rain. But yeah, it's starting to be fall now, so maybe we actually get some rain. Maybe, just maybe. But yeah, we put that on about 12:30. We'll leave that on for 2 hours. This thing we can also take out. Just a metal bucket. Used it for like a seat or something earlier. This somewhere. This one was somewhere in the corner here, maybe. A little stroll over there we could take. The area that we're gonna cut firewood, it's not too far away from here. It's like maybe a couple kilometers that way. But there's some forest here too, but it's mostly younger forest, and it doesn't really need thinning yet. So, but I have plenty of forest to grab some firewood from. It's only like maximum 20 cubic meters. It's not, grand scheme of things, it's not very much. And yeah, as long as the warmer the weather, the less we use. That really depends on the winter. Mostly during the winter it's like maybe +5 to -10. That's probably like what should I say, 70-80% of the days are within that range, so it's not really that cold. And there's a few days where it can drop to -20, but pretty rare. A lot of rowan berries, like the whole tree, whole bush is like bending down. I wish the rowan berries would be not so sour, and you could really find liters and liters of them. I think this is a plum tree, but I don't think it has anything this year. Usually has some. I didn't see any. They're like almost black, the things that grow there. Seems like it hasn't produced anything this year. It's kind of a weird spot because I think someone just ate a plum maybe and threw it here and then it started to grow. I don't think it was planted here. Here we got some forest. This one already was thinned once. So some firewood was taken out from this forest. And now in a few years it's again grown so much that we can again take some trees out. Probably go out back to the field here, because if we stay here it usually starts to have some issues with the connection. When you go into particularly this area is really bad here. Even back out on this field it's kind of bad. Otherwise it's pretty good. Really depends on where you are. Some areas have good internet and others bad. Oh my, yeah, look at the ditch there. It's dry to the bottom. Like not even a puddle there. How's the other side? Here's usually always a puddle on the other side. Dry to the bottom, dry to the bottom. So yeah, even the bigger ditches, it's like dry to the bottom. Just no water there. So even the fall seems to be dry. Whole summer was dry and now fall is also very dry. I was gonna take some breaks in the shade. Just chill. It's so warm that you have to do everything on like half the speed. Everything in slow motion. Maybe we'll see a bear. I think there was a bear sighting not too far away from here. It's kind of far away still from here, but I mean, one bear probably has quite big of an area that it walks inside of. But yeah, definitely this grass field, the clover has, despite the very low amounts of rain, like we got some in August, like 50 mils or maybe something. After that, the clover has really again exploded. Like if you watched some of the streams from early of this year, it looked like there was more weeds and not too much clover. But now you can see it's 99% clover, and then there's 1% of the other grasses. But yeah, once it grows well now in the fall, then next spring we'll plow this field. Then we got some dynamite in the soil, some natural fertilizer. And then if we can get rain next year, should be a good crop on this field. It really hinges a lot on the rain amounts here. The soil is pretty good here, pretty good. But yeah, if it doesn't rain, then it doesn't matter what kind of soil you have. Not much is gonna happen. Red clover is gonna come flower now. Within 5 years we can come here and thin this out. We just end up cleaning it up. Small still. There's like okay, now we come to a little bit older trees. These are like planted, like you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think these are like 6 years ago planted, 5 years, 6 years ago. Yeah, some clips there. Sometimes the connection cuts out here. This corner of this field is particularly bad. Probably the worst. One of the worst areas on the whole farm. Once we go up on the hill here, it's better. Better connection. Definitely struggling at the moment. Lemon berries. That's not lemon berries. But yeah, here, this was planted a few years ago. There's some birch and spruce planted here. Once we climb up a little bit here, you're not going to believe how big of a difference it makes. I think the cell tower is somewhere over there, so when you're behind the hill, it kind of craps out sometimes. Now we should be coming back officially and stay good up on the hill a bit. But yeah, this looks good, this area. This spruce grew quite well this year, this much. Here was a spruce planted, but you can see there's pine coming naturally, birch. Birch is filling in, that's an aspen tree, rowan tree. It's always surprising how much trees you then end up eventually. When you're planting the trees, you think that, holy moly, we're putting just a few down here. How is this going to work out? But then come back in 10 years and wouldn't believe it's the same thing. Even after seeing it multiple times, it's always kind of surprising. And this is a very rocky area of the farm. But even here, the trees, like in between, you can see they're kind of thriving there, in between the rocks. Looks good. Looks good. Down there we planted a birch, and then up here spruce. Spruce on the hill. Spruce things up a little bit. There's a good view out on the fields too. Very nice place to chill. Yeah, there's birches down the hill there. Man, they have grown fast. I think these, both the spruces and the birches here, we planted them 2020. Spring of 2020, I think. So they're like 4 years old, and the birches down there, they're like 6 meters long already. That's quite a growth in 4 years. It's much over a meter per year. The spruces grow a little bit slower, but also the soil up on the hill here, like down close to the field, it's almost like field grade soil, so they grow really well there. They're above the grass threat and they're starting to be above the moose threat also now. They seem to be good, and not many of them have been destroyed there. There can be some moose damage, deer damage. But yeah, all in all, this is looking pretty good. A few years more, and then I'll come with the brush cutter and cut down some trash that's not really wanted, or if there's like many trees really close to each other, then you can thin it out a little bit. But yeah, it doesn't, up here on the hill, it's not needed yet. Trees have plenty of room to grow here. It's more in the better soil areas where you run into that problem first, or where you need to do, like here we planted a spruce. Here's actually like 2, so this is not what you want to see, like 2 trees this close. I don't know if we planted, if there was like sometimes when you plant the trees, there's like 2 tiny trees in the same thing when you plant it. So this might have happened here, or nature filled in with like another one. So ideally you want to remove one of those. If we would have a scissors or something, we could cut it off right now. Here's also maybe 2 double trees. There's I see a double too. There's some doubles here. Might have been. When you get the small saplings, there can be occasions where there's like 2. One tree and then a tiny tree right next to it, and you can't see it when you plant it. But yeah, overall it's looking good. It's easy to see the spruces, the green ones, Christmas trees. I can see like 2 to 3 meters apart from every tree. In every direction there's a next tree, so it looks good. Not many have died from when we planted. Not many at all. Probably like 90, at least 95% survival rate. Which is pretty good. It looks good there. We got more young forest over there on the other side of the power line too. We're not gonna go there today, it's so damn hot. But yeah, later in the fall there might be one area back there that we need to do some brush cutting and stuff, but that's gonna have to wait with this kind of weather. It's warm just walking casually around slowly. So yeah, imagine doing some work in the forest. Not gonna happen. So much nicer when it's plus 5 degrees. So much nicer. Here's a nice one too. This grew quite a bit this year. Seems like the spruces, even if it was a dry year and up on the hill here, a lot of big rocks, you would think that they would struggle here, but this one grew almost, what's that, 20, 40, at least 50, 60 centimeters. Same with that one. That one has a good growth. Surprisingly good growth considering like a dry year like this, dry summer, hot summer, it's not ideal for the trees either. What do we have here? Oh, look at this. This is like a skull of something. It's bone. What could this be? If this is like the skull, then it's gonna be like something pretty small. Like a raccoon dog or something. But it's like all broken up, but this kind of looks like a skull. Maybe. Don't know. Bones. Finding bones, but there's no other bones than that one. Once I found a moose skull in the forest. That was easy to see when you see it's like the head is big and the teeth are super big and can't really mistake it for something else. But that must have been some smaller animal, fox-sized animal. Maybe even like a badger or something. Something like that. Yeah, you can see the trees here. And it's planted somewhere here, and then that part is no point in planting because yeah, under the power lines, like they always, like every 5th year they come and mow down everything under the power lines. Cut down all the trees. You aren't allowed to grow any trees underneath there. They haven't. They did cut up there, but they haven't. I think they had like, we received like a message that they were gonna clean all this up this summer or fall, but they haven't done this area yet here. But they got a few more months of time before the snow arrives. I think they want to do it before the snow because then it's gonna be big struggle to do it later. Yeah, so some areas like this you're starting to see like the spruce, and then there's some natural birds that came in, and it's like starting to threaten the spruce a little bit. So in maybe next year, maybe the year after that, I will come and then I will cut away those birches and leave the spruce. Give it some room to grow. But yeah, this area isn't bad. I should show you some areas where it's really bad, where the spruce are like this, and then you literally have to remove like 10 trees for every spruce. Like in really fertile places, it's like you literally remove 100,000 trees per hectare sometimes. And that's, I can tell you guys, it's a lot of work to cut down so many trees. But yeah, with the brush cutter it's like relatively easy. But yeah, it's even easier when there's just like you need to remove maybe that tree and maybe there's a tree and there's a tree. It's like almost okay, now we come to a little bit older trees. These are like planted, like you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think these are like 6 years ago planted, 5 years, 6 years ago. And here I have been with the brush cutter already once and cleared up a bit. So here you can clearly see the trees already. Okay. See if we're coming back. Can go to the barn here. Here it should be fine. But yeah, we should be live now. Yeah, if it cut off there, yes, we do. Oak can grow here, but it's mostly in gardens and parks. Not really in the wild, in the forest. Like you can find some, but it's not a very common tree. But it can grow. We have in our garden there we got one oak. But yeah, oak, beech, trees like that. We're really like in southern Finland. That's really the most northern areas that they usually grow. But they can grow here. Yeah, we have it. If you go into a natural forest, it's like 90% is spruce and pine, and then the resulting 5% is birch, aspen, alder. That's probably like 97-98% of the trees. Let's take a look in the barn. Yeah, alder, aspen. Then you got more like bushy things like juniper trees. And then a bunch of like salix, whatever that's in English, like all those bushes. Rowan tree we have. But yeah, here's the other wood storage. If we looked up there, we had some there. And in this old barn we also have here's a bunch of 2x4s and boards in the middle here. Some building materials for some projects. Let me restart my app here. I think it's not showing the correct things. But yeah, I don't know, technically we have, how many different tree species do we have in the Finnish forests? I think technically it's probably like somewhere between 20 and 30 different species. If you count all the like more bushy trees. Maybe it's closer to 40. So there's quite a bit, but yeah, pine and spruce is like 90%. Those are the two major trees that grow in the forest. If you look at all this wood here that's been cut, this is probably I would say this is all spruce. There might be some odd pine wood in there, but it's probably spruce. Probably all spruce. Thank you for the bits there, Yankee. Yeah, you could build some things from this. This is all like leftovers. Like when you build something, you mill up some wood, and then you always end up like with a little bit more. Always have to make a little bit more than what you actually need. And then that's all stacked up here. But it's good wood. If I get some idea to build something like a smaller project, then you can find a decent amount of lumber here. There's anything from 4x4s, 5x5s, a couple of big ones, and then yeah, mostly boards. But yeah, this is pretty much the only thing you can use an old barn like this for. Like as you can see, the door. This is like the only door here. Can't really drive the tractor in from here. So the only thing you can put inside here is pretty much what you can use your hands to put in there. So wood. How much land does the farm have? It's about 36 hectares of field, so that's maybe 90 hectares, 90 acres of field, and then like 50 acres of forest. Maybe something like that. So altogether maybe 150. Not that much, and some of those fields are also rented. So those who, of course, we don't own, but yeah, we rent some fields. But yeah, definitely have enough forest for like all the building needs we have and all the firewood. And as long as you plant new trees and kind of take care of it, do thinnings and stuff, then it's like an endless supply of wood. Even if I don't know where I read it, but when I read it, my head literally exploded. Like somewhere they said that wood is not a renewable source. Or like wood is not renewable. When I heard that, I was shocked. If wood is not renewable, then what is? What is renewable then? Crazy. I definitely consider wood a renewable resource. Same as like fields. Stuff will grow. You can grow again and again from same field. Oxygen not renewable. Maybe. But yeah, here's our little Christmas tree patch. So some of these trees, they grow way too close to the barn, so we usually take our Christmas tree from right here. Because the trees are either too close to the barn here, or then they're too close to the field. That one looks kinda nice there. I think that tree looks kinda nice. One of those might be this year's Christmas tree. Some of the bigger ones are not that good. They don't have enough branches, but some of the smaller ones here might be okay for a Christmas tree. At least the outside Christmas tree. Maybe for the inside, inside Christmas tree, we want to find an even better one. Birds fighting over there. I can hear a lot of bird screeches. Oh my God. I think everybody has everything harvested around here now. So at least that went pretty well. Like it was really good harvesting weather this year. There wasn't much to harvest, but we got it really dry off the field. There's a screaming bird. What kind of bird is it? It's a bird with some issues. Yeah, we can go up and look at the other field also. Where we had oats, we also planted like oats, and then we planted a little grass mix underneath. So now when the oats are harvested, the grass there should also grow up. It's probably not going to be as lush as this, but any extra growth we can get there now is going to help the soil for next year again. So we can go and take a look at that. It's been a few weeks since we harvested. Ideally it would have rained a little bit, then it would probably be better, but gotta go and take a look. What went over the ditch here? Looks like somebody has walked over the ditch there. Don't see any tracks going out in the field here. It's like the grass is flattened all the way down. Looks like some like low animal or something when it's like pushed down the grass all the way to the bottom. Next year we will see the property with native plains grass seed. Sounds good. So it's really good when we have this mix here that we have in this field here. I think there's like 5 different types of seed, and they're all the main objective of this grass is to improve the soil. So that's why we have clover and alfalfa. They both have they're both nitrogen fixators. So they store nitrogen in the roots, and then they also alfalfa has a really big root that goes straight down. So it's really making the soil looser. So it is, it's a mix that should be pretty good for, we call it green manure. Or I think that's what it's called in English. Yeah, that's probably, and it really depends where you are. Like some grasses grow in some type of climate, and some other grasses grow in some other types of climate. But yeah, the clover really grows well here. It's mostly like red clover like this, and then there's some white clover in there too. As soon as you get like a little bit of rain, if it would somehow rain a little bit, this would like double in height in like a week or two. But yeah, this clover, it needs some water, but then when it gets some water, man, does it grow here. And even now we have a pretty good coverage on that field, even after a dry summer. Have I tried rain dance? We have tried rain dance multiple years in a row, multiple different versions. And it did not work, unfortunately. We have it's been so dry now for many years, like especially in the summer, that we have tried all kinds of things. So we're not like, I know in some places it's like dry all year around and it's like actually called like a drought. But here it's like the yearly rain amount is good, would be enough to grow a good crop. But the problem here is, or has been the last few years, that May, June, July, which are our main growing months, those have been especially dry. Like at some point now in the fall it will start to rain, it will get wet, then we'll get snow melt in the spring. So when you put the seed in the ground in the spring, it's usually quite wet still, but then after that it's been not good. Yeah, so it's a little bit different. Like it's really dry for us here, but I know it's still not like desert conditions where it's like dry all year round. It's just unfortunate that the dry months have to be our growing months. It always depends. Like really dry for somebody might be not so dry for somebody else. It really depends on what kind of climate you have. But yeah, here we had the oats. Let's see if we have any grasses in the bottom. We did seed this with some grass when we put the oats in the field in the spring also. This is just weeds. Can I find any clover? That's a little bit of clover there, and that's might be Timothy. Yeah, this grass, this actually might be this is probably the grass that we seeded. There is some of that good stuff. Of course, some weeds too. But yeah, we'll just let this grow now. Maybe a month, and then we will plow this field. Yeah, see here it's clover there. This is the whatever this grass. I think it's called might be rye grass in English. There's a little bit of it here. But yeah, there would be more if it would rain. But yeah, there's some. This field will be completely green when we plow it, because it's still like 1 month, at least 1 month forward in time. So I think some stuff will grow up. But yeah, if we dig the dirt up, yeah, it's pretty damn dry there. At least 5 centimeters down. Pretty much bone dry. Mostly grain farming. Yeah, grain from the fields, logs from the forest. If I would summarize it into as short of a sentence as possible, that would probably be it. That's what the farm produces and sells. I don't dare jump down there, but I'm like 95% sure it's dry to the bottom. This is like the bigger ditch that gets water off the fields in the spring, but now it's dry to the bottom. But it could still be like muddy in the bottom, so there's grass that I can see it, so I'm not gonna jump in there. But yeah, in the spring, like when last spring when I still skied on this field, then the water level was about this high. It was almost, the water, this whole ditch was filled up to the brim. It was like almost flooding out on the fields. So now it's like 2.5 meters lower is the water level. So that's always the problem. Like somebody said that, can't you use the water from the big ditch and irrigate the fields? The problem is that when this is dry, then this is also dry. When there's a lot of water here, the field doesn't need water. That's the problem there. It's always, they're both dry at the same time. Or if there's a lot of water here, there's a lot of water there too. We would need to, yeah, someone suggested I need to dig a pond that's like a hectare big, and then store all the spring meltwater there. Then I would have enough to irrigate the fields. Just a small job of digging like a 2-acre pond, 2 or 3 acre pond. Then that could solve the water issue. I don't think that's gonna be financially viable, but technically it would work. Financially, not so sure. Like if you would have, like, this is also flat. If the farm would be like on a slope or something, then you could build like a dam like this and then store the water behind it. But it's also flat here, that even if you dam up the ditch, it's just gonna fill the ditch and not like it's not gonna form a pond very easily. On some hillier ground, you could have maybe more options. Aha, wild boar. Wild boar tracks, clearly. I haven't seen wild boar tracks this year. Like you can see, something has been digging in the ground there. I would say 99% chance that's like a wild boar. And they always search the edges of the field. That's where they really like to dig. I'm glad I have my potatoes out of the ground. Otherwise, the wild boar could go into the, all wild boars could go into the garden and destroy the potatoes. Yeah, here you can see somebody has really been digging here. Boars, yeah, they're a pretty recent arrival. 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, there was none. But they have arrived. And yeah, we can see this even. So here, this post marks like, there's like a pipe going inside the field here, and then there's a bunch of smaller pipes going out. So there's like field drainage in all the fields. Can't see it, but we could, if there would be less grass here, and if it would be flowing out, then we could see like the actual like field drainage in work. Of course, that's also dry. It's not draining out any water now because field is completely dry. But in the spring you can clearly see how those pipes, there's a few places where it comes out to the ditch. Then it helps drain the field in the spring. Tile, yeah, tile it's called in English. Basically like pipes inside the field. Yeah, look at this guy here. Look at this hole. Like that's almost when you drive with the tractor, you almost feel that already. They have been digging here in some places. Luckily it's after the season, so it doesn't really matter that much. See, here in the corner they could be digging a lot. They sometimes, once I found like one side of the ditch and it was like, it looked like someone had been there with like a mini excavator. But yeah, just a little bit of things this year. Yeah, I don't see any water there. It's dry to the bottom even there. Something has walked through there, but it's there's no water. No water anywhere. The only place we have water now is in the well of the farm. That one doesn't go dry very easy. But the well, I believe my dad said they drilled down a hole like it was 40 meters, so like 120 feet. They drilled straight down into bedrock, and then they eventually found water. And then that well has been working now for the last well, at least 50 years. That's where we get the water for the irrigation in the garden. But yeah, that's also one common question, like why don't you use the well on the farm to irrigate the fields? I don't think that well could maybe provide enough water for the bigger fields. But it's enough for the garden for sure. And back in the day it was enough for the cows. See if the irrigation is still running. It's been running for like an hour now. I'll leave it on for another hour. Then maybe I could move it on the strawberries there too. Still spraying. Still spraying. But yeah, we can easily leave it on for another hour. Then I'll move it here probably. But yeah, probably, like I'm just gonna move this in an hour, but that's not really much to stream there. So we'll probably call it a stream here. And then, yeah, we'll be back most likely tomorrow. I think we're gonna go to a nature trail tomorrow. Obviously not 100% because it's outside, could start raining, but yeah. Weather permitting, we will be doing an outside stream tomorrow too. Nature trail stream. So yeah, thanks for watching today. Thanks for the beats. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the follows. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Have a good Sunday.
I'm here in the middle of nowhere. There is no there, it is cold there, but I am safe and I am warm. Although it's hard, I know I gotta keep up. No time to lay, to drift away. I find my space, I spend my time down the rabbit hole again. And as I fall, I can feel the pain. You can't tell me where to go, so I don't know, I just go with the flow. I go with the flow. I'm falling up, I'm falling down, from the sky and from the ground. Up above, just like below, and I don't know where I should go. 'Cause I'm stuck in limbo. I'm out of love, but I guess I deserved it. Trying to hide, to pass you by. I'm getting down, feeling fine. I'm light as air, no one lost in between. Let's keep on flying, let's keep on breathing. I'm falling up, I'm falling down, from the sky and from the ground. Up above just like below, and I don't know where I should go. 'Cause I'm stuck in limbo. Cause I'm stuck in limbo. Cause I'm stuck in limbo.